Yes. Welcome, everyone. How is everyone doing? Welcome to another edition of Wednesdays with William. My name is Daniel Slocky, and I am the man behind the scenes back here. And I can't wait for another great edition of Wednesdays with William. We have an amazingly talented special guest. I can't wait for William to introduce to you. But once again, we like things to be as interactive as possible. So you will see the chat feature below. I see a lot of you already have note that and are used to it. Ramona and Vicky and Louise and Glenn and everyone saying happy Thanksgiving to everyone. So keep that going throughout the course of today, and as well to L&T. But once again, if you're going to have any questions for William or our special guest today, you can go ahead and pop those in the chat at any point, and I will make sure we get a chance to use those as we go forward. So now, once again, the reason why we are all here, he started as a dancer, actor, singer, and he's done it all. He is a stylist to the stars, and he is a makeup genius and has created his own makeup line with BillysBlues.com. Don't forget to go to BillysBlues.com to sign up for the newsletter and our YouTube channel as well. But without further ado, let's welcome the multifaceted and talented Mr. William Squire. Welcome, William.
Well, hello, Daniel. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful.
Happy pre-Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy day before Thanksgiving. I see you're celebrating in Palm Springs this year, I see.
You bet. Beautiful cooking, just kind of traditional and a day to relax. And I haven't had 9 months of relaxing, but another day to relax, an excuse to eat and feel so good about it.
100%. And listen, even though we have been quarantined, I feel like life is still a little crazy out there. So it is nice to kind of put the brakes on whatever we're doing right now and have a chance to relax. However,
Daniel, I have to appreciate and thank you for my introduction. I've never been called a singer before. And
you told me a long time ago you did, so I just threw it in there, and I was hoping that maybe Laura later will get you to sing a little tune as we can see.
Maybe I'll take some lessons. No, I think I told you I had a voice teacher once that said, "Thank the Lord you can dance because you cannot sing." But I think I'll add it to my resume anyway. Why not?
Why not?
Well, Daniel, thank you so much for being here. Good to see you. I missed all of you.
I know.
Again, when it's this double week, or and I've just been doing 2 weeks now instead of the every Wednesday. I got up last Wednesday and I said, "Yay, it's Wednesdays with William," but it's not. It's Wednesday with William, but I don't get all of you with me. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you again for signing up for the newsletter. We sent out a newsletter yesterday, and there's another special one coming out on Friday. So if you haven't signed up for it, BillysBlues.com, sign up for the newsletter, because we have some Blue Friday specials. It's not Black Friday around here, it's Blue Friday, and we've got a very special promotional code for the holidays. So definitely please sign up for it. If you haven't gone to Billy's Blues lately, it's a new site. We've got some fun new products. And speaking of my new products, they are on their way. I think I mentioned the hurricane kind of slowed everything up because they're made in Florida. But they are on the way, and so next week, my white pencil, my black pencil, and a little preview. I hate to use the word perfect, but I will. The perfect holiday red lipstick. So it's a great red. So anyway, that'll be up on the website. It'll be going out for the holidays. And next week, I'm going to show you all how to use the white pencil. I know you'll love it. It's one of those must-have items if you haven't used it before. You'll be amazed what happens to your eyes when you start using it. So that's all next week. YouTube channel, for those of you that have missed some of the Wednesdays with William, you can go to the Billy's Blues YouTube channel and catch up on all the shows that you might have missed. I've got 3 more shows through the end of the year. 2 weeks from now, have a very wonderful show lined up, which I'll be telling you about. And then we have our holiday show, the 2 days before Christmas, and we're going to have a lot of our guests come back and maybe sing some songs. Maybe we'll talk Laura into coming back singing a song. I know that Sandra Allen will be coming back, and Carter Calvert, and Eileen Graff, and hopefully we'll get Karen Morrow. So it'll be a fun kind of a holiday show. And then the day before New Year's, we are going to have a dress rehearsal practice, get your makeup ready, and kind of have a New Year's party. So looking forward to that show as well. And I'm not going to answer any of your makeup and fashion questions today. I'm so sorry. And I promise I'll get to all of those next week. So keep those coming, and they're wonderful. But I know I'm going to talk over the hour anyway, because I'm extremely excited. Have all of you met someone in your life that for whatever reason, it feels so special and it feels so right. And they may not be your oldest friend, or they may not be someone you see often, but somehow you have this amazing connection, and they always seem to know when to come into your life, or what you need. Well, that's this beautiful woman, my next guest. We met about 8 years ago on Crystal Cruise. I think it was 8 years ago. It could have been a year ago. It could have been a day ago. It could have been a century ago. I think it was around 8 years ago. I thought I'd show you a fun picture. Here we are on the cruise ship auditioning for the Crystal Cruise dancers, but yeah, they didn't call us back. But anyway, we had a great time. And then we were on the streets of New York, and it was funny because I think Laura just finished Cinderella. And there we were, and here was this carriage that just pulled up in the middle of nowhere. And we said, well, Laura, you have to go sit in the carriage, right? And took a fun picture. But we'll talk about her, we'll talk about her career, but she's incredibly talented. She is incredibly beautiful. She is incredibly kind, and she is an incredible, incredible friend. So I am honored, I'm thrilled, and I'm so happy we all get to chat with Laura today. So Laura Osnes, my guest, are you there?
Hello, William. Hi, everybody.
Oh, Laura, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too. You know, I'm already tearing up from that introduction. I hadn't seen those pictures in so many years. Those really made me smile. Thanks.
Lots of fun, lots of fun. So, okay, I promised everybody we'd talk a little bit about Thanksgiving, and I said I'd try to get out of you. Do you have a family secret recipe or something you're cooking you can share?
You know what? My favorite Thanksgiving dish, because I have such a sweet tooth, is the sweet potato casserole. I love the marshmallows on top, the toasty marshmallows, but my grandma actually makes one that has like a crunchy, like pecan brown sugar, like crisp on top, almost like a brulee. And I actually just texted her. Yes, my grandma texts. She has an iPhone. She will text me. She's 92 in Iowa. And I texted her and got her recipe. And I am hoping to make that tomorrow. My grandma's sweet potato casserole recipe.
Oh, that sounds so good. I know most people, yeah, do the marshmallows, and that's kind of fun too. So, and the rest of your traditional Thanksgiving, right?
Yes, my husband loves to cook. He's actually a very gifted like chef. I mean, he's a photographer in New York City, but he totally has like the chef gene going on, especially during quarantine. He has really gotten into cooking. And so he's going to do the turkey. And then we have two other friends staying with us. We're keeping it very small. There's just going to be 4 of us, but we're doing all the sides. We're doing like a garlic mashed potato, Brussels sprouts. Instead of green beans, we're going to do a balsamic vinegar Brussels sprout, stuffing. What else? Cranberry, but I'm a sucker for just the canned cranberry sauce. I know like everyone wants to make fancy cranberries. I just kind of love the old school canned cranberry sauce.
I hear you. Oh my God. Is there anything Nate doesn't do? I mean, honestly,
No, he's a jack of all trades, and he is such a pro. I'm very grateful. I married up for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but give him our very best. So Laura, take us to Minnesota. Growing up in Minnesota, and when did you realize you had this gift, and was it always there?
Gosh, I think I came out of the womb like dancing, singing, and acting. It's what's always been in my heart, and the thing that I really love to do. I used to like act out musicals in my living room. I would put in like the soundtracks to like Les Mis and Secret Garden and all the Disney movies. I would just like sing along and like act them out in my living room. So yes, as you said, I'm originally from Minnesota, and my parents were always like very supportive. My parents got divorced when I was 2, but they lived very close to each other, and I saw them both equally, which was, I feel like, just such a blessing. But both of them always kind of encouraged me to pursue my dream of theater, and my mom like drove me around to dance competitions, and my dad actually, I roped him into doing community theater with me like 4 summers in a row. He was in the community theater shows. So for me, it just was something, it was the one thing I always wanted to do. I did my first real show in 2nd grade. I played a Munchkin in The Wizard of Oz, and I loved it. The theater bug bit. And I remember like looking up to Dorothy, the girl playing Dorothy, and being like, I want to do that someday. Like, I want to play Dorothy. I want to lead the show. And I'm just so grateful that I get to do what I love and have had the opportunity to pursue it.
And then in high school, you were doing the musicals. You were probably the girl that got the leads in the musical and did all.
I did get to do some great shows in high school. I played like Peter Pan and Peter Pan, so I got to fly, which was really cool. I did Fiddler on the Roof. I was in Pippin. Those were my high school musicals. And then my senior year of high school, I actually didn't do the musical at high school. I did a show professionally in Minneapolis, and full circle, got to play Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz at the Children's Theater Company there. It's professional theater.
That alone would be a great career. If that was your career alone, that would have probably been pretty noteworthy. But I think it goes on. Let's talk a little bit about after you got to New York, if you wouldn't mind. There's so many shows that we could talk about, but I thought let's just pick a few from New York. I have a couple of slides. First show, and I'm assuming this was from Greece. There was nothing on the internet when I pulled this picture, and I said, unless Laura's just hanging out downtown or 42nd Street, I'm assuming this was Greece era.
Yes, that was a photo shoot day. That was right after I did this TV reality show that actually cast me as Sandy in Grease on Broadway. So that was a crazy experience. And that was right after I had won the reality show, and they shipped us to New York for 2 days to do a bunch of interviews and press. And that was that day.
and then something that I asked, Daniel, go back for a second. Something that I asked, Karen Morrow and Eileen Graff and Sandra and Carter and everybody that's had that first Broadway experience. I imagine for a musical theater and somebody that's what you wanted to do, I mean, it'd be like the first time I got on a runway for a designer. I mean, do you remember that opening night and that moment of saying I'm on Broadway?
Absolutely. It was a dream come true. Like, I wanted to be on Broadway since I was 5 years old. And like I said, I came out of the womb singing, dancing, acting, and putting on musicals in my living room. And so it was unbelievable. I never guessed I would get there via a reality show. But I remember the first time I walked on stage for opening night of Grease, and like the audience applauded. Like, I got entrance applause in my heart, and I got goosebumps. I remember it so well. And I was like, oh my gosh. And it was a complete dream come true. And then finally, like, taking my opening night bow. Like, I will never remember that, like, having finished the show and then like getting to bow on a Broadway stage. It was so incredible. I was 21. I was like a baby, and it was really, really special.
Oh, I love those success stories. You can okay, next slide, Daniel, is then you did South Pacific. I mean, not in any specific order, but I know you. Yeah,
chronologically, yeah.
Oh, okay. Then we did, and people listen to me, people, but audience, if you haven't Googled and seen some of Laura's things, go to it, because as I was going through this, there's a greatest clip of you in South Pacific with your hair wet, short blonde, singing and dancing on stage. I think you're singing I'm in Love or
A Wonderful Guy. I'm in love with a wonderful guy.
Oh, I had so much fun. Gary was saying, come on, are you doing your work or are you watching? I just got it from one. So go to some YouTube. But this was great with you with the short hair. And this is kind of stuff that you love to sing, I'm assuming, right? When you must have got this.
Yes. I completely. Thank you for saying that. I feel like I live in the Rodgers and Hammerstein era. Like, that is the type of music my voice kind of gravitates towards, that golden age. And I replaced Kelly O'Hara, who was one of my idols growing up. She got pregnant, actually. And so they were looking for an immediate replacement for her. And I got to come in and do that show, and I got to have a blonde bob, and I loved being blonde. I have fought to be blonde in shows since, and they haven't let me.
Oh, hey, you look good as a blonde.
Thank you. I loved it too. And I got to wash that man right out of my hair on stage every night. And it was such a renowned, beautiful production that I feel like after winning the reality show and doing the Grease thing, which like put me on the map, finally getting to do South Pacific as my next project kind of like legitimized me in the Broadway community, because the reality show thing can have its negative connotation as well. And yeah, getting to do South Pacific was life-changing. I say that I grew from being a girl to being a woman during my time as Nellie Forbush. It was really special.
And that music is, I mean, you can sing anything, honestly, but I think that music, I know we saw you at Feinstein's in San Francisco, and I think you were doing that kind of a Rodgers, Hammerstein kind of a show, and it was one song after the other, another hit, and who doesn't love that music? I mean, that is
I agree. It's timeless. I feel like Rodgers and Hammerstein were so ahead of their time, actually. Not only is the music beautiful, but they weren't afraid to write about controversial subjects. You know, South Pacific deals with like racism and, like carousels dealing with abuse. And, they weren't afraid to address controversial issues, which was so not the thing to do in musicals of the era. And that's why I feel like their musicals have withstood the test of time.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
South Pacific has so many wonderful songs. Some Enchanted Evening, I'm in Love with a Wonderful Guy, I'm gonna wash that man right out of my hair, Cockeyed Optimist. I still sing all of those songs in concert.
Oh yeah, and beautiful they really are. I'm sure Glenn Rosenblum is listening. We always talk about that. He says musical theater stopped after like 1965 or 70. I mean, because they're really, anyway, it's hard to bring those back. Next slide. My gosh, Laura, you and I might have to have you stay an extra hour. Bonnie and Clyde, now this must have been exciting for you, Laura, just because to go into a new role, to really create that role, be the first woman, I guess, you're, first person to do that. There's got to be something extra special about that.
Yeah, well said. You hit the nail on the head. I did Anything Goes right before Bonnie and Clyde, and the three of those, with all of them being revivals, Grease, South Pacific, Anything Goes. Bonnie and Clyde was a brand new original musical, and I got to be the first woman to ever set foot into playing that role on the stage. And that was really, really cool. It was 3 years of development, so we went 2 years out of town before finally coming to Broadway. So I was very invested. There was kind of a unique sense of ownership over that role. And unfortunately, it wasn't a huge critical success. The show only ran 2 months on Broadway, and yet it is the show I still get the most tweets about. Like it has such a fan base now, and is kind of has a cult following with young people around the world.
Again, on YouTube too, some of the music and some of the songs, you look at that, and that's one of those things you just kind of say why. But
it was good. I mean, we loved it. I think it was a combination of kind of timing, and we opened right before Christmas, and so I just don't think people were coming to New York for the holidays and wanting to see a show about two murderers. So it's too bad.
something to do with it. Now I think I have a slide. Anything Goes.
Yeah.
Laura, look at the reason I put this particular picture up is, I mean, your dancing is unbelievable. In fact, you were nominated, I think, for the Fred Astaire female lead dancing for this, as well as your, I think, Tony nomination. And do you remember, Laura, a couple years ago, I had you send me a video because I was teaching a performance workshop about auditioning, and I know you were kind and helped me with that. But as we were talking about it, I was telling these young performers, I said, it's great to be a singer, it's great to be a dancer, it's great to be an actor, but my gosh, nowadays it's got to be so competitive. I imagine that triple threat is what really can kind of push you over the edge. And I was trying to think of triple threats, and I think of yourself, I think of Sutton Foster, Bettina Miller. I mean, there's some triple threats, but not necessarily as many. And so I think we had forgotten at that point what an incredible dancer you were. Then to see you doing the dancing and singing, what a wonderful show. I know it was a difficult time and probably not fond memories, but beautiful show, and congratulations on the dance award.
Yeah, thank you. I danced for 13 years growing up. I used to do competition dance, and I feel like that is a rare thing. Like, there are Broadway dancers who are way better dancers than I am now, just because I stopped dance in high school. It came a point where I couldn't do it all anymore. But the fact that I took for that long and have the technique and kind of the base of so much dance training, I'm so grateful for. And the director of Anything Goes was Kathleen Marshall, who directed me in Grease for my Broadway debut. And so she knew I could dance. And so I think, she put a little dance. Sandy didn't really get to dance that much in Grease, but she put this little dance break in for me where I could split and kick my face and, show out and do some tricks. And so she knew I could dance. And so I think she had me in mind for Anything Goes. And finally, I got to really show off some of that dance training in that song that you showed the picture from. It was It's Still Lovely, and I got to do this beautiful partner dance with my Billy, Colin Donnell, in that show.
It was definitely a beautiful show, and you're right, to have that dance stays with you. But as I tell people, I say, do it all if you can. I mean, the more you have, the more opportunity you're going to have. And a lot of actresses will tell me, I move well and I can move and I can, you know what I mean, which is great. The fact
Yeah.
that that warms my heart from
It's
next
it's
answer.
definitely true with musical theater. Like the more you can do, the better. And it's like if you can sing opera, great. If you can sing pop country, great. If you can belt, if you can sing Rodgers and Hammerstein, if you can dance, if you can do hip hop, if you can tumble, like it's like how many hoops can you jump through? That's only going to help you in musical theater for sure.
Oh, so true. It's so true. All right, next slide. I think I have one of Cinderella.
Yeah.
That is beautiful. I have this picture, but then there's another picture too next, because again, your feet are off the ground. I'm thinking of you dancing.
Oh my gosh, you're right. I never noticed that.
Both your feet are off the ground. So again, a really physical show, but I imagine every girl wanted to be Cinderella. I imagine you had so many people that said, I wish, and a lot of my guy friends, a lot of my boyfriends are like, I want to be Cinderella. And who didn't want to be on stage changing from, you know, the wretched worker, you know, the prisoner, to this glorious princess in a quick turn. I mean, that was a Broadway moment history of you making that quick change.
It was incredible. Our costume designer, William Ivy Long, I call him my fairy godfather. He won the Tony Award for his costume designs for Cinderella. And, you know, I really owe all of that to him. But that was one of my favorite parts every night, was getting to hear the audience gasp at those magic costume changes. I had 3 during the show. I didn't just get that one. There was like a second event that the prince has, and I get to have a second costume change. And it was, yeah, it was super magical. And I love what Cinderella stood for. You know, she was known throughout the land for her charity, generosity, and kindness, and her imagination. That song, In My Own Little Corner, is all about her using her imagination to escape from her circumstances and visit the world and, you know, become other people and play pretend. And I feel like it's a good quarantine song. I feel like when we were stuck in quarantine, we all had to, at least like if we were stuck in our corners in our chairs, like you be able to use our imagination and be creative about, you know, what we wish we were doing.
Oh, a beautiful show, really. I think, you know, I was going through reviews and different things and reading a little bit. And I think that, I mean, that really touched a lot of people. But I think the next show that I want to talk about, this seems to me to be maybe one of the most powerful shows. Daniel, I think we have one more slide. Bandstand. I mean, of course, I remember seeing it and we got to see you. But just the message and everything about this and seeing you on the Tonys doing this and just, oh, and you've told me stories, I think, of veterans and people coming. I mean, this must be the memories that you have with this show. It must be special. Must be special.
Absolutely. Like Cinderella was magical. Bandstand was like fulfilling. If that's you know, to be able to kind of compare the two, Bandstand was definitely the most like rewarding thing I've ever done. We felt like we were part of something larger than ourselves and not just doing something for entertainment's sake, but that the story we were telling was actually healing people. We interviewed and got to talk with several veterans and people who had served our country, and got to hear their stories about fighting overseas and coming back. The show followed a young soldier who was returning from World War II and started a swing band to compete in a radio broadcast competition. And my character was a war widow. She had lost her husband in battle. This is all in the 40s. And I get roped into being the singer of the band. And the story follows how their relationships with each other and the music that they create together truly help to heal them from their traumatized past. And I feel like we were telling a story about PTSD and talking about it when a lot of people don't really talk about it. And it was really important. We partnered with a few veterans organizations as well. And proceeds from merchandise sales and things like that in the lobby went to support that. And yeah, it was really definitely very different from anything else I had done, and so rewarding as a result.
And I remember the night we were there, and I know I've heard as well, people standing up in the audience, but especially you'd see these guys that maybe you wouldn't expect to be leading a standing audience, but probably veterans, and they stand up and you could just see them with the tears. And I mean, it's, oh, look at
Oh, so powerful. I'm so glad. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, totally. It was really special.
No. Anyway, gosh, we could, Daniel, let's move on. I'm gonna tear up here. I can't. What are we looking at there? Oh, you know what? Play this now, Laura. We're gonna talk about your concerts. This is so meaningful to me in so many ways, as you probably know. But this is Laura singing at the Tabernacle Choir. Let's hear a little bit of this.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome two-time Tony Award-nominated Broadway star, Laura Osnes.
Oh, come, all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem. Come and behold him, born the King of angels. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him, Christ the Lord.
Oh, just in case people didn't know you could sing, I wanted to throw that on. But not only, of course, Broadway, you've been doing a lot of concerts, you've been traveling, doing different concerts. Like I saw the one you did a month ago about shows and songs that never were. I mean, you've got a group of concerts. Do you enjoy concert work?
I do. I've been so grateful to be able to branch into, the concert world when I'm not doing 8 shows a week. And it's still something where I get to do what I love, but in a very different arena. Although the concert stuff, sometimes I've gotten to do that mode with the Mormon Tabernacle Choir gig twice, and there's 22,000 people in the audience. And then other times it's a cabaret space where it's maybe a room of like 100 people. Like you guys said, you came to see me in San Francisco, and that's so cool because you finally get to be so intimate with your audience. And then now during COVID, I've just started doing like some virtual concerts where that one that you were talking about, I went to a venue in New York called Birdland that I love, and they filmed it with no audience, which is a whole nother thing because the audience is like a character in our story. And it's so hard to like finish singing a note and then it's just like silence when we're so used to getting that affirmation of applause. But obviously being able to stream the concert is so special, and then people can watch from their living room. And that concert is still available through December 6th. You can get it through Broadway World. It's called The Path's Not Taken, and it's all like songs from shows and roles I almost did in my career, but didn't.
Right. It was wonderful. I love that. Got to talk to you for a moment before we talk fashion about your Hallmark movies. I mean, I think this is wonderful. You suddenly, this was the first one you did, In the Key of Love.
Yes.
I would love that one. The second one, Homecoming for the Holidays. Both of these, of course, you got to sing in. The third one, One Royal Holiday, which I got to tell you, I think is maybe my favorite. It's just the cast and everything about it. And this is where I turned to Gary and I said, Laura's really a good actress, because I know you filmed it in the summer and you're there drinking your coffee and you're in a sweater, and I go, I'm cold for her, and I'm sure it was probably hot with plastic snow around or something. But really, was that a good experience filming that? And do you enjoy acting and doing movies?
Yes, I'm just starting to dip my toe into the TV film world, and I am loving it. Hallmark has been a very safe learning environment for me, because like I said, I've been doing theater my whole life, and the Hallmark thing I just started last year. I've only had a couple guest spots on TV things, so I'm super excited, and to kind of be branching out and being on set and doing stuff like that. So it's been a really good learning opportunity. And yes, I love what you said. I'm cold for her. We shot that movie. We shot One Royal Holiday in July, and every day it was like 85 degrees. And when you're inside, you can't really have the air conditioning on because the microphones pick it up. So yes, almost every shot in that movie, we are boiling, and they're constantly curling my hair, trying to make it not fall because of the heat. But we had a really, really good time. Thank you for watching and supporting.
Oh, Laura, no, I love it. I remember I was talking to Karen Morrow, and she said coming from stage and coming to do film, she said her first time in front of the cameras, it was hard for her because she was big and larger than life. And she said it took her a while to calm it down. Did you experience that a bit?
I did. I was very insecure about being behind a camera at first. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And as much as maybe the average person thinks like, oh, it's acting, it's the same thing. It is very different being on stage and doing a movie. I think one of the main things that kind of threw me was that in TV film, you don't really get rehearsal and you shoot everything out of order. So on Broadway, we have a month in the rehearsal room before anybody ever sees it, and you get to try and you get to fail and you get to talk about backstory and subtext, and and you get to tell the story beginning to end every night, and then get to take a bow and be like, okay, that's over. And with TV film, everything is shot out of order, so you're kind of plucking emotions and where you are in your story and in your character's journey, and then also, it's so quick. You get maybe 3 or 4 takes and you don't really have rehearsals. So you kind of just have to trust your instincts, and trust the people you're working with, and trust that the editors are going to put it all together in a way that makes sense. It's not really an actor's medium so much. Theater is more creatively fulfilling in that way. But what I love about TV and getting to these Hallmark movies is that there's a motion picture memory of the experience that you got to have making it, that is going to live on forever. And I'm a very kind of nostalgic person. I love taking pictures and things like that. And I feel like the movie we made is like a scrapbook of our experience getting to make it together.
And people can go to Hallmark to find out when they're going to replay at Hallmark's website. But also, you said tomorrow morning, let's see, 5 o'clock LA, right? And then 8 o'clock.
Yeah, early. So 8 a.m. So if you're getting up early to watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, it's airing, One Royal Holiday is airing at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. And I actually think Homecoming for the Holidays is on right now on Hallmark Channel. So when you're done with this, you can turn on Homecoming for the Holidays.
No, I'll watch it tomorrow morning. I'll get up and watch it. Have my coffee. It's really, and the cast, anyway.
It is a good cast. It's a lot of Broadway people. So I got to reunite with some friends, including my fairy godmother from Cinderella, Victoria Clark.
Right. Oh, yes, of course. Anyway. Okay. Now, here's what I want to talk about. How do you describe your fashion sense? Not for Broadway. Come on. Let's talk. No, I just want to know, how do you describe your own fashion ability?
Oh, William. I really do enjoy dressing up. I'm a girly girl and I like dressing up, but I'm also fairly frugal. So for me, I like to find things that are on a budget or on sale. I rarely pay full price for things. But I do have a lot of friends in the industry that I've gotten to kind of connect with, who have like loaned me dresses for events over the years. So I feel like for red carpets, I have gotten very taken care of, because I love getting to dress up, and I'll like tag them on social media. And so I've been, I've been loaned a lot of things for like red carpet events, but in my everyday, like I'm fairly low key. I like to look cute, but I don't spend, tons of money on clothes. I kind of enjoy variety more than, which is maybe different than a lot of people are like, you need 3 pairs of great shoes. And I'm like, no, I kind of like having 60 pairs of shoes, but they're all like, $30 or like under $100, And then I cycle through because I get sick of the same things.
Yeah, no, well, my looking at your style is 2 of my favorite words. And what I tell my clients, my 2 favorite words when it comes to fashion is simplicity and elegance. So Daniel, let's look at some of these looks, Laura's red carpet looks.
That was a bold move for me. I remember I was afraid.
Simple, but I love the look of it. I love the feel of it. And do you have a go-to color that when you're working with these designers that you kind of want them to put you in, or does it just depend?
No, it really depends. I have worn every color at some point. It depends. I would say in my life, I tend to gravitate towards blues because my eyes are blue. And Billy's blues. So I really enjoy blue things in general, but I think it's fun on the red carpet to switch it up, and it's for one night, you're going to be photographed in it. So like make a bold choice.
Oh, you've got to. All right, next slide. Laura, now this is a few years back. I remember this is probably like 2011, 12 something. But the reason I wanted to put this picture, again, I love the yellow dress. I love that. But I talked often about wearing a darker color lipstick, and what I tell my clients is if it's a nighttime event and you're wearing black and you're wearing dark, you use a dark vampy lipstick, it has a tendency to not look fashionable, but look almost goth or something. So
Sure.
I wanted to show this picture because for my clients that are watching, I love a dark lipstick. For you ladies that love a dark lipstick, I say go for it. But look how beautiful it is with a lighter colored, a brighter colored dress rather than just a classic black. I love it. I think it looks great. I think it's
Thank you. That was also a bold move for me. My makeup artist that night was like, Laura, I think you need to have a dark lip. She was the same as you, affirming me for it. And I was scared to do it. And I can't even tell you how many compliments I got from this look that night. And it was a really fun change for me and totally got me into dark lips. I started doing dark lips for things when I was, you're right, not just wearing black, but I became less afraid of going with a bold dark lip like that after that look that night. So definitely worth trying, ladies, gents, whoever is watching and wanting to try it, like just try it once and you'll be surprised how many compliments you get. And then you won't be so afraid of doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you know, too, about it is my favorite thing about your style and stylist and the way you dress is when you do this, you have
I just jump back on.
Oh, the other Laura is.
About this one.
Okay, Laura, are you Laura?
She muted herself. There we go.
And my favorite look, and this is something, again, I've worked for years with my clients. I love that you do earrings and a ring, or you may do something you don't overdo. And again, I'm blue in the face saying, don't do a necklace, don't do a bracelet, don't do rings, don't do it all. And that's that simple elegance I love in your dressing. Daniel, go to the next slide, please.
Oh, that was fun.
Now this is, and Laura, if you don't wear this next time we have brunch, I'm going to be
This is the Christian Siriano look. So that thing does not live in my closet, thankfully.
But that is a beautiful look at it. I mean, look at this dress. Talk about a creation. And what I love about your stylist, and again, might be you, it might be your stylist. Oh, Daniel, can you go back one? Yeah. The hair is perfect because I love it slick. I love it down. I love it. I mean, you couldn't have got away with curls. You couldn't have got away with a lot because it would take away. So again, the dark eye, the light lip, the sleek hair is such a perfect choice. And again, you're not distracting by a necklace or by anything other than we're looking at the dress, we're looking at you. And that's smart. That is very smart for a performer, for anyone.
Thank you. That was a very fun night.
Yeah.
Crazy. I got to go to that ball.
Yes. Again, look at this. So many people would want a necklace, but I get so excited about it because I'm like, I'm looking at you, I'm looking at the dress, I'm not being distracted. So I love the earrings, the bag, and again, a black dress, and I think you're really rocking it.
Thank you. What I loved about that black dress was that there was more going on. You know what I mean? With that sheer kind of underlayer, that it wasn't just a straight black. And yeah, I don't wear necklaces that often. You're totally right. I love an earring and I love a ring and then occasionally a bracelet. And then a lot of times I let the shoes or the purse also be like a jewelry.
And I think it's a great, yeah, but you're right. It's a fabulous dress. This next picture I put up here too, just because a question I'm asked often is, William, do we need to match lipstick with what we're wearing? And I always say, you know what, it's got to be in the same color tone. And I love this because this is a fun dress. I should have brought the whole dress. It's a short dress, but you can see the lipstick is definitely the color tone. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's definitely matching the dress. And I think that's so important. If you were to do a pink red or a dark, I mean, it's important that you do think of your clothing when you're choosing your lipstick. And I think this is a great look for you, Laura.
Right. Thank you. That was fun. That was a fun night too. That was another, I think, Drama Desk Award night. We had a really good time.
And you're right. I've seen you in every color of the wardrobe, of the rainbow. I think, Daniel, next slide. This was brilliant, Laura. I remember when you were in LA, in fact, we were trying to get together, but you were just in town briefly for this Hallmark. And I remember you going, it was like an afternoon lunch or an evening lunch. And we talked a little bit about it. And I thought, interesting outfit choice. And then to see this, I love this. I love everything about this outfit.
William, I have to tell you this. I had a dress that was loaned to me from Alice and Olivia for this event. And then my friend, who's also a fellow Hallmark star, I was like, look, this is what I'm wearing tonight. I sent her pictures and she was like, no, you can't wear that. She was like, someone wore that last year. And I was like, what? Alice and Olivia gave me a dress that someone wore last year to the same event. I didn't know. And so literally this was like 3 hours before the event. This was my friend Bethany Joy Lentz. These are all things from her closet, the shoes, the top, everything. And so she brought me a whole new thing from her closet because the dress I was going to wear had already been worn. So we threw this together. I am thrilled that it is on your list.
I think it's brilliant because it's unique. People remember it. It is taking a bit of a risk, but I think that would be the one outfit I would remember if I were at that party. So I think I've got
totally a risk. I'm really a dress girl. I love dresses. And so wearing shorts for me, she said the same thing. She was like, you've never done anything like that, Laura. This is a chance to do it. Like, rock it.
Oh, it looks so good though. Everything about it, that was amazing. Next slide, Daniel. And then this was, again, I think probably a Tony Award with your handsome husband, Nate. Yeah. But again, I think it's beautiful. But go to the next slide, Daniel, please.
I love that dress.
Again, I just put this picture up. I think the makeup is perfect, the hair, but I love that there's no necklace. I won't say it anymore, ladies, I promise. But just next time you're getting dressed, it's like Coco Chanel said, turn around, look in the mirror, take one thing off, and usually you'll see sometimes that necklace might be a little bit in the way. And I love that picture of you two. I mean, you're just right in your element there.
Thank you. I think because the dress is metallic too, like the dress ends up being jewelry. And I do like my collarbones. So I think it's nice to, if that's an asset you have, ladies, yeah, don't cover it up by a thick necklace.
Oh, I love you. Oh, we could talk. Okay, Daniel, next. Laura, I'm going to ask you a few quick questions. I don't know if you've ever seen Vogue 73 questions, but I have William's 43 questions.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Quick answers. This is just to get to know you just a little bit better, if that's okay. And let's go. Laura Osnes, what's the first thing you think about when you wake up?
My dog. Because, well, other than like rolling over to see my husband, she always emerges from the bottom of the bed. She sleeps with us. I have a Chihuahua mix and she burrows underneath. And usually right when I wake up, she senses it and scurries her way up and for a morning snuggle.
What did you have for breakfast?
I'm not a huge breakfast person. I often will skip breakfast, but if I do, lately it's been the cinnamon oat Cheerios, very full, autumnal.
Okay. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
Night owl.
What's the last book you read?
Also not a huge reader, I'm ashamed to admit. Honestly, it was a Disney princess cookbook. My friend just got it for me for my birthday, and so that is what I
love it. Milk chocolate or dark chocolate?
Dark.
Okay, you're locked in a movie theater. You can only watch one movie. What would it be?
Oh my gosh, The Wizard of Oz.
Good choice. One person you'd like to meet?
Julie Andrews.
Ah, yes. What one piece of advice would you give young performers and singers?
Plow your own path. My path was very unconventional, so it sounds really cliche, but like learning to listen to your heart, take opportunities as they come, and follow the path that you feel right about.
What's the first thing you do after you get home in the evening, after working?
Eat.
Okay. What is something you would never wear in a million years?
The first thing that came to my mind. Wait, what were you gonna say?
I say necklace. No.
Yeah, right, necklace. I was gonna say like something like super risque. Like I'm thinking like an open jacket. You know what I mean? With like nothing underneath. Like I'm fairly modest, and I feel like something like that, I would just be too afraid. Something.
What is your favorite fashion trend?
Ooh, right now, the like high-waisted jean. I think that like the mom jean coming back, like the high waist, is a fun thing, right?
Oh, I do too. Who's your spirit animal?
Oh my gosh, my dog Lila.
What's a favorite go-to dinner?
Ooh, okay, tacos. I love Mexican food. Nate makes, we're actually having them tonight, William, because like at least once or twice a week we're doing like Mexican themed. We have some chicken and peppers. I love chips and salsa. I love guacamole with a margarita. I'm with
Okay.
it.
And speaking of, what's your favorite cocktail?
A margarita.
What would you tell your 13-year-old self?
Be patient. If only you knew the beautiful things coming your way. Ugh,
What country would you like to visit?
Australia. Continent and country.
Yep.
Anything.
Do you play games on your phone?
Yes.
Do you have a favorite you want to share that we should all be playing?
I was obsessed with Words with Friends for a while, and I had a couple friends that I was doing like, it's like Scrabble with your friends. And then I'm currently, it's so stupid. It's one of those like guilty pleasures that you just like when you don't want to think about anything. And there's a game called Fishdom, and you like, it's like a kingdom, but a fishdom, and you like build aquariums, and it's like a Candy Crush type thing.
I've got it.
You have it?
That, the Wizard of Oz.
I'll just be
We all need that. We all need that.
right. You do.
Window seat or aisle?
I used to be window seat because I like to fall asleep to it, but now I'm an aisle because I usually have to go to the bathroom.
Okay. Must have beauty product?
Mascara.
My mind goes, wait a minute, mascara. Wait, Billy's Blues mascara.
Billy's Blues.
Just teasing.
Always need it.
Thank you.
I like lashes. I'm a lashes person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's your favorite song?
Favorite song? That's impossible. I mean, I already said like if I was stuck with one movie, it would be The Wizard of Oz. I do have an affinity for Over the Rainbow.
Yeah. And that
Like,
again.
That's the first one that comes to my mind.
And you did that in concert with the Mormon Tabernacle, right?
I did.
I saw that last night, in fact. If you could make a cameo on any TV show, what would it be?
Oh, wow. Actually, part of me is trying to think of some like singing show, like Glee or like Nashville. I'm not currently watching like a musical one, but it'd be fun to come on and make a cameo. I really loved Friday Night Lights, but that was like a long time ago. Like I'm trying to think of something now that would be fun.
Well, I won't know it anyway. You know me. If it wasn't the Donna Reed show or Andy Griffith, I don't know about it anyway. So, Prime or Netflix?
Oh, probably Netflix, actually.
And chauffeur, masseur, or chef?
Yeah, I have to say chef because my husband. Although if chef is maybe already taken,
Yeah,
well, masseur would be great, but actually chauffeur.
that would be.
I do enjoy a pick me up and a drop me off.
And Laura, what's your life's philosophy? What keeps you as you are? I mean, which is incredible. What keeps you going?
For me, I think it's staying grounded and hopeful. Faith is a big part of my life. So I have a Bible verse in my like profile on social media that's like Proverbs 3:4. It's like, in all your ways acknowledge him and he will direct your path. And I don't mean to get like all spiritual on everybody here. Like for me, I'm just like, okay, if I can wake up every morning and like acknowledge God, like he will direct my path and take care of things for me. Even in the midst of like COVID and all of this, I feel like we've all been so like hopeless or helpless. And at the end of the day, if you're just able to kind of zoom out on the thing and be like, I know I can't save the world, so I'm going to do what I can one day at a time and try to find the light. And especially now, it's Thanksgiving tomorrow. So realizing what we're thankful for, having an attitude of gratitude, despite so many things being stripped from us, we still have so much to be thankful for.
Just the fact that we got up today, that filled my heart. I said, okay, this is a great day no matter what else, because I got up and I get to see Laura. All right, Daniel. Daniel, I've taken up way too much time. I know we've got some questions. Let's talk about this. We've got this up, Laura. Briefly, I mean, I love this idea. I've gone to the website. If you haven't gone to the website, go to the Princess Party website. There are the cutest things there. I'm thinking of my audience members that have grandchildren and have daughters, and I think it'd be such a great idea to order some of that fabulous stuff for holidays. But congratulations, what a great idea that you
Thank you.
Broadway princesses. And
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, this goes back to the concert realm. I co-created a concert series. It's called the Broadway Princess Party. So when you're searching, I think the website is broadwayprincessparty.com, and we have a whole shop. You can click the link in the right corner that says to shop, and we have like signed things and merch, t-shirts, bracelets, signed photos. Yeah, tiaras. We have tiaras. Really, really sweet things. If you have like, nieces or grandkids. And this concert is me, who I played Cinderella on Broadway, and then Susan Egan, who is the original Belle in Beauty and the Beast on Broadway, and Courtney Reed, who was Jasmine in Aladdin on Broadway. And so it's the three of us singing all of your favorite Broadway princess songs. And it started 5 years ago, and we've been touring for the last 3 years. And we have a very exciting announcement and partnership that is launching April of 2021. So stay tuned for that.
Good. I was going to ask you what you have coming up. I mean, it's kind of a day-to-day thing, I guess, but you're doing some more virtual work, I guess, right now? And
yeah, doing some virtual work. We actually just recorded a Broadway Princess holiday party that will be available starting December 12th. So you can check us out on social media as well. We're also on Facebook. I think it's B-Way Princess. PTY is our handle on social media. So yeah, you can search and follow along, and we'll have a virtual holiday show that's actually going to be super fun. We just filmed it 3 days ago in New York. So
this is wonderful. And Daniel, we can put up all this on my media or on my page too, so people can come and find it. Okay, Daniel, come join us. I'm so sorry.
Of course.
I can't stop talking. Come on.
No, this has been fantastic. And I love that you're in your element too, William, asking questions because he's a super fan of Broadway. And it's really great to know that, and everyone here, we've got some Broadway alums and, great stars that are on, saying some great praises of yourself too, Laura. So just know that in the chat, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. And I'm such a fan of you, William. And so thank you. It's just been so fun to follow. I love your products. I'm so glad our paths crossed years ago and that we have remained in touch. This is so special.
It is fun. So I do have, Glenn, who was a guest not too long ago, asked, tell us about, it was mentioned a little bit earlier, but tell us from your experience, the costume change in Cinderella from rags to ball gown the first time. Like, walk us through that whole situation.
I actually remember there was a whole tech rehearsal I had that was just me and my dresser. Actually, on Broadway you get a dresser, which is awesome. My dresser Tammy is amazing. We've done 5 Broadway shows together, and so we had to figure out how it was going to work. So we had a big tech rehearsal, and our costume designer Will is also named as William, and he actually had a vision of how it was all going to go. But the first time doing it was tricky because it's a couple step process. It was like pull the pin, unravel, spin to the tree. The tree gives me a hug, and I walk away with a gown on. That's essentially how I explain it. So, but it's all like old school stage magic. It's snaps and Velcro. It's not technology. I'm not relying on anyone else to do anything. It was all up to me, which was both stressful because if something went wrong, it was probably my fault, but also, nice to know that I was in control of it. But it was amazing. It took some finessing trying to figure it out. But I remember once we got it, we had 3 hours to figure it out, just us. And then when the rest of the cast came and the first time they saw it, they were wowed. And then the second costume change I have in the show is basically I throw a pile of rags up in the air. And it was I just had to undo some snaps and the whole thing revealed. And that one happened even quicker. And I remember that was the one that really the audience, if you blinked, you missed it. And that's what brought people back to see it. But it was captivating. It was really, really cool to get to be a part of that every night on stage.
Oh my goodness, that's fantastic. So Vicky also says that she got to know your father-in-law and husband on Crystal Cruises. So she wants to know that she's wishing them well and wants to know that if they're doing okay.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, my husband's great. And yeah, Papa J, I call him Papa J, Nate's dad. They did a Crystal Cruise together as well. And Nate gave a photography lecture while he was on board, but I was working, so I couldn't go.
Oh man. That's at least you can ask. You can get all the behind the scenes stuff. And then Salvatore says, congratulations. You're really great. We follow you from Italy. So maybe on your Facebook page, give Italy a little shout out, says Salvatore here. But so if you could also make one Broadway show into a movie and be the star, what would that be?
Ooh, I mean, part of me wants to say like Bonnie and Clyde. Like, because it only lasted for 2 months on Broadway, I would have to get back in shape because that was 9 years ago now. But I'm like, I think it would do really well just because it has such a fan following. Bandstand, we did get to film actually, and it was released at like Fathom Events and aired in movie theaters across the country. But I do think Bandstand would actually make a really good like movie, not just like filmed the stage version, but like if they made a film of it, I think it would actually do really well.
Oh, that's great. It's so, and also, I mean, take out the last 9 months because I know we're a little bit of a different situation, but Broadway's a really demanding job, right? You don't have much downtime. So during that time, what do you do to get, to let loose, or how much downtime do you really actually get?
Yeah, when I'm in a Broadway show, it's 8 shows a week, so you really only have Mondays off. Mondays are the only day off, and you basically work when everyone else doesn't. You're free during the day, and then you work at night. So your social life does kind of suffer, but it's important to just take care of yourself during the day because you have to give 150% at night. So I tend to get on a schedule where I'm sleeping in. I'm being semi-restful during the day, maybe going on a walk with my dog or baking. I really love to bake. That's like my go-to Zen activity. Or maybe getting together with a friend. But then on occasion, you also have like an audition, you know what I mean, that you're going on maybe once or twice a week. So you're constantly kind of prepping new material, keeping your brain always going. Maybe you have a concert on Monday night, the one night that you have off, there's like some benefit or gala. So it is a very busy schedule, and you learn to like get on the hamster wheel and just like keep running. And I feel like during this COVID time, it's forced everyone to like slow down, and in a almost kind of a beautiful way. And I've been actually really grateful for the rest, because that is not the typical lifestyle that I get to have.
Yeah, I totally get that. And last one before we go, because I know we're kind of running close on time here. So do you have a favorite theater to perform in, or to even, or perform in and watch in, or maybe if they're different, so one experience maybe different than
Yeah. I really loved working at Lincoln Center. It's just classy. It is full on classy. It's a little bit newer of a building. So a lot of the Broadway theaters are actually pretty old. It's not as glamorous as you may think behind the scenes. And so Lincoln Center was great. I actually live in that neighborhood as well when I'm in New York. So it was like a short walk to work, and I was like, this is amazing. That was where South Pacific was. So I really, really enjoyed working there. And also I think that theater is cool because it's a thrust stage. So it's almost like a little peninsula, and the audience is on 3 sides. And so it's not just a proscenium flat stage like every other theater in New York. So that was cool. And then as far as to see things I do enjoy seeing things at Lincoln Center. I just think, and the campus there is just so beautiful. When you walk up to see the show, you're just like, it feels so old school New York and just super classy. But I also, let's see, I love going to any theater. The history of all of those buildings and the buzz of Times Square is really fun. So I think overall, when I'm going to see a show, going to in Times Square, just makes it feel like you have the full Broadway experience. Because Lincoln Center is actually north. It's on 65th Street. It's north of the buzz of the typical Times Square theater district.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, thank you. So I have just enjoyed all this, and I'm glad I'm actually visiting at home for a little bit. I'm glad I have a little downtime because I'm going to start doing a little YouTube watching with some of your performances. So, and I have 2 little nieces, and I'm glad we're all trying to be safe. We got all the COVID testing for my parents, their grandparents, but the princess movies, I'm definitely going to have to bring that into the fold here.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Please do. And thank you guys again for having me, for asking such amazing questions. I hope everybody's doing safe and has a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Oh, well, Laura, thank you so much. I'm thankful for you. Say hi to Nate and give Lila a special kiss. And
I will.
Oh, Gary was right here. I said, do you want to say hi?
Hi, Gary. Hi, everybody.
Enjoy your tacos. Enjoy your lunch tomorrow. Laura, I'm grateful for you, and thank you for being such a delightful guest. And as always, we'll stay in touch and tell them I'm giving you my love.
Thank you. Same, right back at you, William. So thankful for you. Thank you guys so much, and take care.
Thank you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Laura Osnes, thank you so much. Daniel, I have one more slide I'd love to show if I could. And that is my quote for the day, which is begin each day with a grateful heart. I guess that we've kind of talked about nothing else. I hope you're all feeling as grateful and with such gratitude that I am. Laura just makes me happy, as all of my guests. This is, I think, more for me than maybe for anybody, because these people are so special and so wonderful, and they just suddenly kind of bring this effervescence and love into my life, and hopefully into yours as well. So until we meet again, which will be 2 weeks from today, again, I'll have a newsletter going out on Friday. So please, if you haven't signed up, newsletter at billyblues.com. And I will see you all here in 2 weeks. Have a fun day tomorrow. Enjoy whatever you're doing. I hope your heart is full of love and gratitude. And until we meet again in 2 weeks, be beautiful. I'm changing it up. Be beautiful, be happy, and be healthy. Thank you. Bye.